I had composers write new music for the Super Mario Bros. Movie trailer. I'm joined by my good friend, Alistair Cooper. He's done music for trailers and ad campaigns on Thor, Penguins of Madagascar, Harry Potter, and definitely knows his way around trailer music. Alistair, thanks for joining me.
Hi everyone, thanks very much, and it's a pleasure to be here.
The first one we have is from John Gonzalez.
Not sure if you know who I am, but I'm about to rule the world.
Wow, yay!
But there's one problem. There's a human, has a mustache, just like you.
You think I know every human being with a mustache wearing an identical outfit with a hat with the letter of his first name on it? Because I don't.
Bowser is coming. Together, we are going to stop that monster.
How? Look at us. We're adorable.
Oh, I got this. No problem.
Yes! Come on, Mario! Our big adventure begins now!
Get it out, get it out, get it out!
There's a huge universe out there.
Whoa.
With a lot of galaxies. They're all counting on us. No pressure.
Thank you, John, for that submission. Alistair, why don't you go first?
Yeah, there was some really, really great ideas in there. I liked the concept of starting it just with one solo drum. It leaves us a lot of room to build into more epic percussion later on. I felt like some of the really good aspect of it was that it glued together a lot of the scenes and transitions and different kind of elements. I think it did that in a way that's a bit more akin to film or TV, and it's perhaps an idea to consider just hitting a few more of those beats, like the first big joke when Mario is getting hammered on the bridge. I think you could just cut out the music and let that sit, and then it's going to have more impact when it comes in afterwards. I really like the section when Bowser's introduced. Just the melody and the atmosphere there. I think the brass and the strings sound really good in that part.
Not sure if you know who I am, but I'm about to rule the world.
And then also when it develops into seeing the princess for the first time, that's kind of my favorite section of this.
I had a similar thought about the kind of gradual transition, as opposed to these being kind of separate scenes, separate parts of the story. It was like morphing into each mood as it went, which I think was maybe, I would think for a trailer, you want to keep things exciting, right? And keep it we're throwing all this, look at all this amazing stuff we're throwing at you kind of a little bit. So that kind of long, gradual development kind of slows the pacing down, I think.
Yeah, I think that's one of the main principles in trailer music is just having things be, turned up to 11. It's a bit like looking at a photograph where you've turned up the saturation to 11 and the brightness and everything is as kind of amped up as it could be. So you're really trying to go for maximum kind of energy at all times, and in a lot of cases pushing kind of the tempo as much as it could realistically be.
Now, I guess this is a question that maybe this is just they didn't want to step on copyright or anything, and that's fine, but to not reference any nostalgic themes or melodies or anything that would kind of connect us to the games, I feel like is a missed opportunity.
Yeah, it could have been for the copyright reasons, but I mean, you're absolutely right. I've seen the real version of this trailer, but a long time ago. But yeah, I'm sure it must hint at the Mario themes.
And you need those to hit the heartstrings, right? To be like, oh, yeah. I mean, what do you think? What would a brief look like for a trailer like this? Do you think? Is it pretty self-explanatory how to approach it?
I would say so. I mean, I think in reality, 99% of the trailer work that I've done, and I think is really done in the world, is from writing it as a library, really writing the piece of music almost like it's a song, and then editors are going to choose what they like and edit in. Yeah, I mean, when I've custom scored any trailers, I think the brief has been just along like what points they want to hit, where they want to, which moments they want to accentuate, and then you want to really get an idea of the tone. Because as we'll see, looking at these 3 different submissions, and it's like anything with music, you can drastically change the tone of what the film is going to be, and that's going to be very important to what they want to portray in a kind of advertising sense. Like with the Bowser scene, it could be, you could put, horrific like horror music in there, and that would be the wrong choice. But then if it's too light, that could not be the right tone either.
Yeah, I was feeling that you pointed out that spot of kind of play the joke, or Donkey Kong's just hammering him by staying out of the way. And I thought there were multiple moments throughout where I think a tighter hit of like, let's hit the action, or let's hit the joke, or let's leave space for the joke would make the music and the video feel more like a single unit, I guess. That would have helped a lot.
Absolutely. I mean, it's very, very common. I mean, it's quite interesting because when I started writing music for trailers, we had pieces that we were writing more kind of contiguous pieces of music, and as it got on, I found that I think the editing style that they were using was to always have these kind of chopped cuts for joke moments, and it became so common in the editing style that we then had to reflect that in the essentially library music we were writing. We were always just adding in these breaks so that it was easy.
Every 15 or 30 seconds or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Right. Let me just put that. So I felt like that just kind of played through the last scene into the title and I feel like when the title comes up, it's just like, this is the thing you've all been waiting for, the Super Mario Brothers movie. And by just letting the music just kind of like keep vamping through, it's not giving it the weight that I think that title card deserves. I don't know if deserves the right word, but like you're in the right direction with the moods and, using music to create certain feelings. But I think a tighter sync with the story and the changes would be where I'd focus.
Yeah, absolutely. Good work, John.
All right, the next one we have is from Roloff Meyer.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
Not sure if you know who I am, but I'm about to rule the world.
Wow, yay.
But there's one problem. There's a human, has a mustache just like you.
Do you think I know every human being with a mustache wearing an identical outfit with a hat with the letter of his first name on it? Because I don't.
Bowser is coming. Together, we are going to stop that monster.
How? Look at us. We're adorable.
Oh, I got this. No problem.
Come on, Mario! Our big adventure begins now!
Get it out, get it out, get it out!
There's a huge universe out there.
with a lot of galaxies. They're all counting on us. No pressure.
Yeah, just so many brilliant ideas. There was one thing I noticed off the bat, and I actually took a listen to this piece earlier, and the first time I listened to it, I didn't quite clock that was the Mario theme playing on the piano when he walked in, and I thought that could have been a bit more kind of forefront in the mix, or a bit less subtle. Yeah, I mean the section at 26 where he's in the arena, and it's almost like this kind of marching band, like a college marching band, kind of doing the theme. I thought it was just a brilliant idea. It's something that made it stand out as being something that might have been custom scored as opposed to licensed kind of music.
There were a bunch of Easter eggs, like the moment right when we see the cart. That's from dun, 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 dun. That's from one of the like Super Nintendo Mario Kart tracks. That was a good reference.
I mean, it brought in and kind of referenced a lot of the historical elements of Mario music, like the Latin section.
Oh, I got this. No problem.
Yeah, I absolutely loved Bowser's introduction in this as well with the organ. I thought that was like spot on, tone wise.
Bowser is coming.
It's like kind of a reference to that older Super Nintendo era Mario music as
Yeah,
well.
there's definitely that level
cool.
when they're in like a dungeon or something with a fire.
Right.
It's great. It sounds great, that organ as well.
The one spot I think wasn't as effective. It didn't have the fullness coming through the way I think was intended. Was this part here? Let me just play like 10 seconds of it.
There's a huge universe out there. With a lot of galaxies.
I think it seems like it's trying to be huge and epic, but it's not. It doesn't have the energy for me, and maybe it's just kind of missing like a middle. I don't know. Do you feel that?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a fairly common sort of struggle with writing trailer music in particular. It's like how it has to be so simple and direct, and it just can't. It can't be too complicated, and you just don't have the time for it to be that complicated. So it has to be, it has to be 100 miles an hour instantly. And how you do that is the challenge. Yeah, I think maybe just a simpler kind of big melody there might have helped, or more kind of sort of running, creating more sort of running energy with some kind of string ostinato or something like that. It's so important to be able to visualize what your music's going to sound like the first time somebody hears it. And I think that's just the challenge to music and any art, is being able to, after you've heard it 1,000 times as you've worked on it, and you've also worked on it in non-real time. You've been in there editing notes. But what is it going to sound like in real time for the first time? With percussion in general, say in that section, it sounds good, but it's very hard to catch on to any sort of specific pattern. It's not specifically just like making hits, but if it's rhythms like that, it might be just better just simplifying them a little bit so that people can kind of catch on to the pattern.
Well, this was a fun one to watch. Any other thoughts?
Just amazing job, Roloff. I mean, yeah, I loved the history of the Mario themes, and it was fantastic.
All right, and our last one is from Alexis DL.
Okay.
Not sure if you know who I am, but I'm about to rule the world.
Wow, yay.
But there's one problem. There's a human, has a mustache just like you.
Do you think I know every human being with a mustache wearing an identical outfit with a hat with the letter of his first name on it? Because I don't.
Bowser is coming. Together, we are going to stop that monster.
How? Look at us. We're adorable.
Oh, I got this. No problem.
Yes! Come on, Mario! Our big adventure begins now! Ah! Get it off! Get it off! Get it off!
There's a huge universe out there. With a lot of galaxies. They're all counting on us. No pressure.
That makes me want to see the movie.
Yeah,
That's a good
yeah,
one.
amazing job.
Thank you, Alexis. Nice one.
Absolutely. I think yeah, you're spot on. I mean, this really sounds. It sounds overall like a movie version of Mario. It has the elements of being related to a video game, but it's clearly taken to this sort of next level of being
The
more
Hollywood.
cinematic.
Right.
Yeah, and I think if this was really done for the trailer, that's an aspect that people would get very excited about.
Right. That, like, why does this have to be a movie instead of just a TV show or something? It's like, well, because it's huge,
Yeah, it just tells the story very well. Out of the gate, it lands the first joke perfectly. It has this really cool drum intro, which also sounds very trailer-like. So it kind of sets the scene that that's what you're watching, and then it gets out of the way for the pounding. Yeah, this was the one where it was around 53 seconds that I thought the drum hit sounded really, really fantastic.
Do you think I know every human being with a mustache wearing an identical outfit with a hat with the letter of his first name on it? Because I don't.
It's really, really good. I think it would be worth considering just a minor tweak. Some of the hits that are just a little bit off, and I think it's like whenever you're doing really a trailer or sort of film score stuff, and it's things like that, the hits really have to be within 2 or 3 frames, otherwise it's going to just seem a little bit off. And also
like out of sync with the picture.
Yeah, it was some of the first hits were were just a little bit off, and also I think it was worth considering, just as I was saying on the other piece, simplifying that drum pattern, because the very first time you hear it, it's hard to catch on to what is going on. Like it's like there's some pickups that could probably just be maybe cut out, just so the pattern's a bit simple.
Developing it before we've even got used to it. But I did notice that like dun dun da 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 dun was in that section later on that we were talking about before, where it's like it's time to be getting big and epic.
There's a huge universe out there.
Dun dun da,
Yeah,
da, da, dun.
yeah.
I think that was what we were talking about before. Like, oh, we need this kind of middle layer rhythm thing going, and so when we got there, I was like, hey, he's got the middle rhythm layer.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something I have to remind myself of all the time. It's like you have hundreds of ideas, and you just don't do them all. You need to pick these simpler things and just develop them, and like in this case, it's going to be way more impactful.
Something else I thought went very successfully was the same kind of melodic motifs appearing many times throughout. So it felt like everything belonged and just kind of kept, growing and, as you said, developing.
This around 103, where you have the big melody. It was just really, really good. It feels super contemporary and sort of reminds you of, you know, certain aspects of things like maybe like Thor Ragnarok and the concept of or even like Stranger Things, you know, kind of using retro synths and orchestra.
Bowser is coming. Together,
Yeah, it's so direct. You know, like the orchestration is just there to sell that melody. And then, you know, the drums kind of add a nice little like extra layer to it, but it's like the main job of everyone for the music right there is just like that melody right there, which is important. You know, it's easy to overwrite and forget that we are being bombarded with all this visual stuff and characters talking and trying to figure out what the heck is the story and what's going on. It's overcomplicating the music will just take away from everything we're seeing on screen.
And then at 1:15, there's a really, really cool development of that. Just when that high violin part comes in, that's just like the perfect thing. It's like, yes, just more of that with this violin part is great.
Oh, I got this. No problem.
Nice. A lot of attention to detail as well, with small rises and hits, and that has just become kind of expected in trailer music. I think it's becoming slightly expected in maybe film music as well, but just all of those little rises and whooshes.
Is it better to write those into your track or let the editor kind of have their toolkit of risers and whooshes and
I think you kind of need to be doing it as well, and then they'll probably have more of it as well.
I mean, TV reality music and like all that library stuff is the same way. It's the editors are the co-composers, you know, that are trying to, which is it's a different thing than it used to be, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, as we were discussing a bit off camera, I think in the approaches of these, you can see the influence that editors have had on music in trailers. I mean, it's so challenging because you're trying to develop this piece of music that ordinarily maybe it would be like a five-minute long piece of music to get to something this epic, but you have to do just 3 bars of this most epic part and then have a break. And I think that's indicative of editors who've created this kind of style of really chopping in lots of different pieces of music.
It is really hard on the writing side. Like you said, yeah, like you feel like it's not enough. I can't just go to complete silence there, but so it's kind of artificial in a way, writing it, I guess, right? It's not for the concert hall. It's for the trailer. It's for the trailer. All right. Any closing remarks? Any other thoughts?
No, it's been a great pleasure. These have been fantastic submissions and so much love and care and attention, and it's been great to hear them. Good luck with everybody in the future.
Thanks for doing this. I appreciate it. And if you guys have questions about trailer music, ask us in the comments, I guess.
Absolutely.
See you later. All right. Thanks, guys. I'll see you in the next one.
Bye.